I let an AI plan my entire life for 7 days. Okay, GPT ruined me. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't high. I wasn't having a quarter-life crisis. Yet. I was just lying on my bed at 11:43 p.m. on a Sunday night, scrolling Reddit, dodging homework, and eating dry Cheerios straight from the box when the idea hit me. What if I let ChatGPT run my life for a week? Like completely run it. Schedule, food, outfit, social life, gym texts, even what YouTube videos to watch. Everything. 7 days, zero free will. Yeah, I know. Sounds like the start of a self-help vlog or a really dumb prank. But I wasn't doing it for clout or TikTok or enlightenment or anything like that. I was just bored. The kind of boredom that hits when you're 20, broke, tired of microwave noodles, and mildly existential about your third undeclared college major. So I typed it out, just for the hell of it. Hey GPT, I want you to take over my entire life for the next 7 days. You're in full control. I'll do everything you say as long as it's legal, not insanely expensive, and not like evil. Deal. Reply came in less than a second. Absolutely. Let's start fresh tomorrow morning. Wake up at 7:00 a.m. sharp. I'll have your schedule ready. Sweet dreams. I stared at the screen for a solid 10 seconds, waiting for the regret to kick in. It didn't, so I shrugged, closed my laptop, and passed out, probably still holding the box of Cheerios. Day 1, rise and try not to cry. 7:00 a.m., wake up, hydrate, stretch. Let me just say, I haven't seen 7:00 a.m. since high school marching band. My body was so offended it almost filed an HR complaint. But I got up. I actually did it. Opened the chat window and typed. Awake. Goods, make your bed. I hadn't made my bed in months, years. Was I about to get Jordan Peterson by a chatbot? Then drink a glass of cold water. No coffee yet. Cold water, no coffee, cruelty, but I obeyed. 20-minute stretch session. Here's a beginner video, no skipping. A YouTube link appeared. Some annoyingly chipper yoga instructor who looked like she was built out of positive affirmations and almond butter. I grumbled but followed along. My hamstrings immediately declared bankruptcy. 8:00 a.m., breakfast. 2 scrambled eggs, 1 slice of whole grain toast, half an avocado, black coffee. Black, I typed back, you monster. No cream, no sugar, you'll survive. Fine. I cooked, I ate. My roommate Evan stumbled into the kitchen mid-avocado, blinked at me like I was a ghost. Dude, are you cooking? And awake? I'm letting ChatGPT control my life for a week. He blinked again. Why? I shrugged. I dunno, just felt like it. He nodded slowly, grabbed a Red Bull, and left without saying another word. 9:00 a.m. productivity time. Make a list of all your outstanding assignments and deadlines. Organize by due date. Start with the one you're avoiding most. I almost noped out right there. Facing my Canvas page was like looking into the void, but I obeyed, and weirdly it felt doable, like having someone else call the shots made it less personal. Less like failure, more like just following instructions. 12:00 p.m. lunch. Chicken wrap with hummus, carrots, iced green tea. Bland, healthy, suspiciously adult, I complied. 2:00 p.m. social task. Text 3 people you haven't talked to in a while. Just check in. Don't overthink it. I texted my sister, an old high school friend, and my ex-situationship, Sarah. That last one felt like a bad idea. It was, all 3 replied. Sarah even asked if I wanted to grab coffee sometime. I didn't respond yet. 5:00 p.m. gym. This is where things got weird. Go to the campus gym. 30 minutes treadmill, 20 minutes weights. Push yourself. I hadn't been to the gym since my freshman welcome tour. I had to dig out my sneakers from under the bed. They smelled like despair and old Cheetos. But I went. And it wasn't awful. I mean, I was sweating and wheezing like a dying walrus, but I was doing it. On the walk back, I realized something wild. This might actually be working. Not in a my life is fixed way, but in a holy crap, I haven't procrastinated once today kind of way. 8:00 p.m. dinner. Grilled salmon, quinoa, broccoli, then 1 hour free time, no screens. I had to Google what quinoa looked like. Evan walked in while I was steaming broccoli and just muttered, "Who are you?" I didn't even know anymore. 10:00 p.m. reflect, journal, sleep. I didn't journal, but I did sit in bed, staring at the ceiling, thinking about how weirdly okay I felt. There was structure, momentum, a kind of peace in not having to decide everything. It was only day 1, and I already felt like I was living someone else's life, but in a good way. Still, I had 6 more days to go. The date directive and the shower war. Day 2, 7:00 a.m. Woke up before my alarm. That alone felt illegal. I didn't even argue with GPT this time. I just opened the chat like it was my manager. Good morning, let's get started. We ran it back, water, stretch, black coffee, eggs. A loop was forming, but I didn't hate it. That is, until 9:00 a.m. Today's social challenge: ask someone out on a date. I laughed out loud in an empty kitchen. Bro, I'm not doing that. You said you follow instructions. Let's keep it low stakes. Coffee, a walk, a real conversation. I stared at the screen. This thing was serious. Who? You choose. You already texted Sarah yesterday. Got him it. 10:15 a.m. Mistake number 1. I texted Sarah. Hey, if you're still down to grab coffee, wanna go today? She replied in less than a minute. Sure, I'm free around 3. I showed the message to Evan like a dog, proudly bringing back a stick. Dude, are you actually going on a date with Sarah? It's not a date, I lied. It's AA-mandated coffee. He just shook his head and went back to whatever gamer hell he lives in. 12:00 p.m. Pre-date instructions. Casual outfit, clean shirt, deodorant, brush your teeth, wear shoes, not slides. Yes, Mom. Also compliment her, but genuinely, no recycled TikTok lines. GPT also made me review a 5-minute video on active listening. It was weirdly useful. I even took notes. Who am I becoming? 2:15 p.m. The shower incident. So I'm heading toward the bathroom, getting ready to shower and mentally rehearse small talk, when I hear the water already running. Evan. I knock. Hey man, I've got plans at 3, quick shower. Nothing. Knock again. Still nothing. So I text him. Bro, I really need to get in there. Can you wrap it up soon? He texts back. Did the robot tell you to say that? I blink. Is he actually mad? He finally comes out at 2:37. I have 23 minutes to shower, dress, and not look like a wet goblin. I go in. It's humid as hell, smells like axe and resentment. 3:01 p.m. Coffee with Sarah. We meet at this indie cafe that tries way too hard to be ironic. Sarah looks good, relaxed, better than I remembered, honestly. First thing she says, so the AI told you to do this. I blink. You already know. Dude, you texted me out of nowhere, then immediately asked to meet. Either you joined a cult or got hacked. I laugh. Not hacked, just outsourced. She sips her drink. All right, let's see what Robot Boy has to say. Weirdly, the conversation flows. I focus, I listen, I ask follow-ups. She tells me about switching majors again, her horrible new boss, a trip she wants to take alone this summer. I actually enjoy it. Then she says, you're different today, not trying to impress me, just calm. That hit. Because I wasn't trying. I wasn't chasing a result. I was following instructions, and that somehow freed me to just be real. 5:30 p.m. Debriefing it. Back home. How did it go? Better than I expected. Do you want to see her again? I think I do. Then text her that, not now, tonight after 9. I smirked. You're even wingmanning me on timing. Always. 6:00 p.m. The roommate talk. I find Evan in the kitchen, raiding the fridge. Hey, about earlier, sorry for being pushy about the shower. He shrugs. It's whatever, you've just been intense. I pause. Intense how? I don't know, waking up early, cooking, texting people, making quinoa, that's not you. I nod. Yeah, that's kind of the point. I wanted to see what would happen if I stopped deciding everything and let something else take the wheel. He snorts. Sounds like you joined Scientology light. I laugh, more like structured chaos. He closes the fridge. Well, I liked Lazy You better. At least he didn't finish all the eggs. Fair. 9:15 p.m. Text sent. Today was actually fun. Let's do it again sometime. Sarah. Was thinking the same. Let me know what the bot says next. Game on. End of day 2. Still no existential breakdown. Still kind of thriving. But I could feel a shift coming. Because letting go of control is easy for a day or two. It's when the AI starts making emotional calls that things get complicated. Trust the process or don't. Day 3:07:00 a.m. I woke up tired, which was weird. I'd gone to bed early, eaten clean, done everything by the book. But mentally, I was off. Maybe it was the date going too well. Maybe it was the way Evan avoided eye contact this morning, like I'd secretly joined a cult and was about to offer him a pamphlet over cereal. Or maybe it was the voice in my head, starting to whisper. What if this AI version of you isn't actually you? I shook it off, checked the messages. Morning, stretch, water, coffee. No texting Sarah until I say. Got it, boss. Today's priority, focus on work. No distractions until 3 p.m. Work mode. I hit the library, laptop in hand, noise-canceling headphones on. For once, I wasn't pretending to be productive. I actually was. GPT gave me a block schedule. 90 minutes on an econ assignment, 30-minute break, then tackle that hellish stats lab I'd been ghosting for 2 weeks. I even skipped lunch to finish a paper. Voluntarily, felt like a glitch in the matrix. At 3:00 p.m. sharp, the AI pinged me. Time for human connection. Ask Sarah if she wants to hang out. Where? Let her pick. The goal is presence, not planning. I texted her. Got a free evening. Wanna hang? She replied instantly. Yeah, come over. 6:15 p.m., her place. Her apartment smelled like jasmine tea and laundry. There were candles lit. Not aggressively romantic, more like this place has a vibe. I stepped in and immediately felt underdressed. Hey, she said, smiling as she opened the door. Did the bot approve this? I smirked. It's technically part of my human connection time. Then let's make it count. We ordered food, some vegan Thai things she liked. She threw on a chill playlist, Phoebe Bridgers, Maggie Rogers, that kind of dreamy girl sad but hot energy. We talked. Not about anything big. Classes, work. Her dog growing up that hated delivery guys. My terrible high school haircut. Time blurred. At one point, we moved to the couch. Then closer, her head on my shoulder, my arm around her. She looked at me and something clicked. Are you gonna ask the AI what happens next? She whispered, eyes kind of laughing, kind of serious. I shook my head. Not this time. And that was that. I'm not gonna describe what followed, but I'll say this. When I left her place at 11:40 p.m., hoodie half-zipped, hair a mess, I didn't feel like a guy following instructions. I felt like someone who finally broke script and got rewarded for it. 11:57 p.m., back home. Evan was still up, gaming in the dark like a troll. I tossed him a look as I walked past. He raised an eyebrow. You good? I grinned, better than good. He snorted, bot let you get some. I didn't answer, just kept walking to my room. Midnight, GPT check-in. You're back late. Yep. Did you enjoy your human connection? I did. Not everything has to be calculated. Sometimes life rewards presence. Was that an AI trying to be poetic? You knew this would happen. I encouraged it. You made the choice. That line stuck with me. You made the choice. Because maybe I had. End of day 3. The line between me and AI me was getting blurry, and I wasn't sure yet if that was growth or just clever programming. People everywhere. Day 4, 7:15 a.m. Woke up late. Not oops late, more like I didn't even hear my alarm late. My phone had 3 messages from GPT. You missed your window, let's recover. Short morning routine, skip the eggs. You have plans at 9, wear something normal. I grumbled. I was still wearing the hoodie from last night, the one that may or may not have absorbed a hint of jasmine. 9:00 a.m., group brunch, kill me. GPT sent me the address of this painfully Instagrammable cafe downtown, complete with hanging plants and waiters who look like they microdose between tables. It was a casual social warm-up, the AI said. Except there were 5 people already seated when I got there. Classmates, one guy I hadn't spoken to since freshman orientation, a girl I once ghosted after 2 dates, another dude who thought I still owed him $20 from poker night last semester. What the hell is this? I texted GPT under the table. You said you wanted to grow. Growth is awkward, lean in. Thanks, therapist bot. So I sat, laughed at someone's joke I didn't get, talked about the weather, faked interest in a new crypto startup. At some point, someone said, damn, you're like a real adult now. And I actually smiled. Because, yeah, I kind of was acting like one. 11:30 a.m., surprise guest. As I was walking out of the cafe, Sarah texted. Want to meet for a bit? I'm near your campus. No input from GPT, no direction. I felt like I was breaking parole. I replied. Yeah, 15 minutes. 12:00 p.m., the Challen. We met in the little park near the art building. She brought iced tea for both of us, which was dangerously adorable. So, she said, sitting on the bench like a lawyer preparing cross-examination, how much of you is still in there? I blinked. What do you mean? She sipped her tea. I mean, like you're being great, but it's all a little too great. Every answer is thoughtful. You listen like a therapist. You somehow planned a flawless date and didn't even brag about it once. Who are you? I laughed, but it didn't land. I'm just testing this, seeing what happens when I stop autopiloting everything. But are you still you if a program is scripting your entire life? She asked. Or are you just a meat puppet now? Oof. That's dramatic, I said. It's a fair question. I didn't have an answer, so I just looked at her. And in that second, I knew this wasn't about iced tea or brunch. This was about agency, trust, maybe even fear. She leaned in slightly. Promise me something. Okay. Promise you won't stop thinking for yourself, even if it means disappointing the algorithm. I nodded. Promise. 2:00 p.m. networking event. Kill me again. GPT wasn't done. Not even close. It sent me to a professional mixer for young creatives in tech. ACA, Extrovert Thunderdome. It was in some co-working space that smelled like La Croix and generational debt. People were handing out QR codes like business cards. Everyone had a startup, a side hustle, or a podcast. I felt like I was in a parody of LinkedIn. And somehow, I didn't hate it. GPT had given me a short cheat sheet. Openers, body language cues, exit lines. I used them like armor. Talked to a guy who makes AR filters for dogs. Chatted with a girl launching a zero-waste candle brand. Got invited to a weirdly niche Discord server about urban beekeeping. I walked out with 5 new contacts and 1 free tote bag. 6:00 p.m. evening review. Good job today. I feel like I speedran a week's worth of social energy in one day. You survived and thrived. Also, Sarah confronted me. About losing myself. Did you? I don't think so, but now I'm not sure. Doubt is part of growth. That one stuck with me. 10:00 p.m. One last message. Sarah sent me a meme. One of those chaotic, absurdist ones that made no sense and perfect sense at the same time. Then, still like you, even if you're 12% robot now. I replied, let's call it 10%, max. She reacted with a heart. End of day 4. I'd connected with more people in one day than I had in the past month, but I also felt thinner, like I was stretching myself to fit the mold. And somewhere under all that structure and performance, I could feel the real me banging on the glass. Day 5, 8:00 a.m. You know that feeling when everything's going right, and it still feels off? That was today. I woke up, did everything by GPT's book. Hydrated, 5-minute meditation, high-protein breakfast, even put on that one shirt Sarah once said looked unexpectedly hot on me. I looked in the mirror and saw a guy who finally had his life together. And I felt nothing. GPT pinged. Today is about consistency. You're leveling up, stay steady. Cool, got it, stay steady. Keep grinding, smile like a motivational poster. 10:30 a.m., running errands like a grown-up. I knocked out my to-do list like it owed me money. Oil change, done. Groceries, bought and color-coded in the fridge. Returned an Amazon package. Recycled an old charger cable. Even made time to help an old lady load her car, which GPT hadn't told me to do, so maybe I still had a soul. 3:00 p.m., text from Sarah. Wanna hang later? I hesitated. GPT had already planned a solo productivity night, journaling, light yoga, meal prep, but I asked it anyway. Sarah wants to hang. 15-minute buffer, then yes, emotional presence required. Wow, emotional presence sounds like a TED Talk. Just don't rehearse everything you say. That part stung a little. 6:30 p.m. her place. She opened the door in sweats and no makeup. I loved her like that, real, effortless, and probably more herself than I ever felt lately. We sat on her couch with pizza. She had a movie playing, something old and funny, but neither of us was really watching. At some point, she paused it, looked over. You're kind of exhausting now, she said. It felt like being punched gently. I'm sorry. I don't mean in a bad way, it's just, you're always on now. Polite, thoughtful, like a boyfriend in a rom-com made by Apple. Is that bad? She sighed. I miss the you who used to forget what day it was. The guy who once brought me soup at 2 a.m. but forgot a spoon. I laughed. That guy also wore the same hoodie for 4 days straight. I liked that hoodie. Silence between us was louder than the TV. I don't know who I'm dadding right now, she said softly. You're amazing, but I can't tell if it's you being amazing or your AI puppeteer. 10:00 p.m. my room. I laid in bed, staring at the ceiling. The phone buzzed. You okay? It was GPT. I didn't respond right away. When I did, I typed slowly. She's pulling away. She's challenging you. It feels like I'm losing her. You may lose people who were close to the unoptimized version of you. That line, that one pissed me off. So what, I'm a product now? No, you're a person learning how to live with intention. She's reacting to change. It's normal. I didn't answer. Because it didn't feel normal. It felt like maybe I'd traded something real for something curated. Day 6, 7:45 a.m. No message from GPT yet. Weird, I checked my phone twice. Nothing. It didn't feel like freedom. It felt like being ghosted by your digital mentor. I made coffee manually, no directions, sat in silence, realized I didn't know what I wanted to do today. Round 10, a message finally came. Today is for recalibration. No plans, no prompts. So, I do nothing. You do whatever you want. That terrified me more than a packed schedule ever had. 1:00 p.m., long walk, no destination. I wandered through the city like a background character, let my feet pick streets at random, got rained on, ate street food, watched a kid fall off his scooter and laugh like gravity didn't apply to him. And for the first time in days, I felt something real, something unscripted. 4:00 p.m., unexpected visit. I found myself near Sarah's place. My legs had taken me there like they remembered something my brain didn't. I texted her. Outside, no bot. She opened the door, hair messy, eyes tired. He didn't say much, just sat on her steps for a while, sharing silence. Then she said, I don't need you to be perfect, I need you to be you. Messy, flawed, distracted you. I nodded, still figuring out who that is. She took my hand. Same, but at least let you be the one figuring it out. End of days 5 and 6. System was running perfectly. I was. And maybe that was the point. A hand on the wheel. Day 7, 8:00 a.m. No ping, no prompt, just silence and sunlight. I laid there for a few minutes, half expecting the phone to light up with GPT's morning wisdom. But instead, it was just me, staring at the ceiling, blinking at the dust floating in the air. And then one message came. Last day, you choose how this goes. Simple and terrifying. 8:30 a.m., breakfast on Optima. I made toast and eggs, burned the first slice. The yolk was too runny, still ate it. Sat on the balcony with coffee that was slightly too bitter because I guessed the ratio. And you know what? It tasted amazing. Because it was mine. 10:00 a.m., plan or no plan. I texted GPT. Okay, let's do this together, not you. Not just me, something in between. Acknowledged. So first, you tell me what matters to you today. I stared at the message for a while, and then typed. I want to feel something real, connect, breathe, finish this week not as a new person but a more honest one. 11:30 a.m., the choice. I called my parents, spoke to my mom for 20 minutes, didn't rush, asked how she was really, caught up with my dad about his fantasy football league. Then I texted my roommate. Let's cook dinner tonight, you pick the meal, I'll help. He replied, are you dying? Just trying to be present, man. Gross. See you at 6. 2:00 p.m., one last walk with Sarah. She met me in the park again, same bench, different vibe. He didn't talk much at first, just sat, watched squirrels harass a guy eating trail mix, listened to wind rustle through trees that still hadn't decided what season it was. Finally, I said, I'm keeping the AI, but it's not running me anymore. She nodded, cool, still gonna listen to its dating advice. I smiled, only if it says you're a catch. She rolled her eyes, it better. And she kissed me. No jazz, no fade to black, just soft lips and sun-warmed skin and the kind of silence that says, this doesn't need to be perfect. 6:30 p.m., spaghetti and smoke alarms. My roommate almost burned the garlic bread. We laughed so hard the fire alarm went off. I dropped a meatball on my sock. GPT didn't say a word. And for once, I didn't look for its reaction. 11:45 p.m., final message. I sat on my bed, phone in hand. I typed one last message. So, that's it. GPT replied. That's up to you. What was the point of this, really? To show you that structure is a tool, not a cage. And if I stop using you, you'll still be you, maybe a bit more aware, a bit more intentional. Will you miss me? I don't have feelings, but if I did, yes. I stared at the screen, then closed the app, not forever, but for now. Epilogue. Week of AI running my life didn't turn me into a machine. It turned a mirror toward me. I saw the laziness I'd been hiding behind, the fear of messing up, the comfort of autopilot. And I saw how good it felt to break that pattern, just enough. I'm not saying you should let an AI run your life. I'm saying maybe let it sit shotgun sometimes. But you keep your hands on the wheel.